Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Mark Robinson, the Director, Dean for the School of Business here at Washington University of Science and Technology. We are based in Alexandria, Virginia, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this official School of Business webinar called the Top 10 Vendor Certifications for MBA Students. The reason I want to present these top 10 vendor certifications is that even though many or all MBA students, while they're in school, they're earning degree. At our school, they're also offering or also earning job skills and job placement. And certainly, once you have completed your MBA, you can't stop learning. That's the real honest to goodness truth is even if you have an MBA, you cannot stop learning. You always have to keep moving forward because as we can see now in the world of generative AI, things are happening quite fastly, quite quickly. So you want to make sure that you're always up to date with the skills. And these are not just any skills, these are industry recognized skills that are going to help you earn your internship, earn a full-time position, and these skills are going to really help you to complement other parts of an organization, including strategy, marketing, business development, finance, and operations. So let's get started. I want to just share some time with you today in looking at these top 10 vendor certifications for MBA students. So why are we talking about vendor certifications rather than simply Learn or LinkedIn or other non-vendor certifications? Well, you do want to show that you are continually learning in your MBA journey. You're learning new skills, whether it be accounting, leadership, strategy, organizational leadership, etc. Sometimes, though, these vendor certifications seem to matter more to companies and recruiters because these are many times they are practical skills, right? As a career accredited college, we teach very little of theory, but we do teach practical skills and real-world applications. So the practical skills aspect is very important. These vendor certifications that you're going to be learning about in this webinar are recognized by the industry that they're part of. So you want to demonstrate your skills and your proficiency in tools and that employers actually use, okay? And the third point of why these vendor certifications are important is they're definitely going to enhance your career, stand out in competitive markets and internships. So there are so many people looking for internships and employment today that if you have perhaps one or two of these particular vendor certifications, it's likely that your resume and application would be top of the list. So let's dig into these top 10, and I encourage you to ask any questions at the end, and perhaps there are other vendor certifications that you think are important that may not be listed here. Okay, so here we go. Number 1. Google Analytics certification, right? If you're involved in website management, if you are involved in sales, business development, or marketing, this is a really awesome data analytics tool that most companies, many companies are using it to gain insight into the customer analytics, right? This informs their digital strategy. Do your customers hang out on Facebook or X, or are they focused mainly on posting and interacting on LinkedIn? So Google Analytics 4.0 is focused on customer analytics, digital strategy, and it's measuring how well or how poorly perhaps your marketing is performing. So anybody, any company, organization, for-profit, nonprofit, if you have a website, you absolutely need to know how to use Google Analytics. And you want to get that certification from Google, and it is a free certification. Okay, so it's extremely important in today's digital world. The second one here falls under the heading of customer relationship management. And again, this is a tool, CRM is the acronym, but it's a tool that helps you keep track of how many times your organization has reached out to potential customers or actual customers. And so the name of the vendor certification from Salesforce is called the Salesforce Certified Administrator. Okay, so Salesforce is number one in the industry in CRM. And again, whether you're in marketing, sales, business development roles, perhaps even fundraising for nonprofits, again, Salesforce Certified Administrator is an extremely valuable tool. And as we'll see in just a few minutes, Salesforce also owns many other tools that help business professionals and MBA students stay on top of their job. Okay, so number two, Salesforce Certified Administrator. Number three is a really awesome data visualization tool, and it's called Tableau. The actual vendor certification name is a Tableau Desktop Specialist. And the nice thing is it's a separate product, but it too is also owned by Salesforce. And so there's been a great deal of integration of Tableau into Salesforce. So again, Tableau is a data visualization tool, taking spreadsheets, taking quantitative data, and turning it into images, bar graphs, and other kinds of images that really help you to tell the story. So basically, it's a tool that takes complex data, turns it into, I would call them infographics. And if you find yourself that you are interested in looking for jobs in the consulting industry, finance, strategy, etc., any role where data tells the story. And let's face it, in today's digital environment, data storytelling is so important because we're no longer making, just opinionated guesses about how we're going to spend our money. But now we have to include data storytelling. In other words, what does the data tell us that we are doing? How well we are performing or how well we may not be performing. Okay, so number three, Tableau Desktop Specialist. Okay, number four. This is the foundational certification for cloud computing, right? This is Amazon Web Services, AWS, Certified Cloud Practitioner. This is not an IT role. This is a more or less an important mid to upper level management role where, again, this is an AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. So most businesses, many businesses, the majority of businesses are using some sort of a cloud computing platform. And so Amazon Web Services continues to be the number one tool in the industry. And again, this is a foundational cloud computing for technology people, but also for product management, operations, and if you are also involved in a digital transformation project or job, okay? AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. All right, number 5, right? These 2 tools are for those people who are interested in digital marketing. So number 5 is called HubSpot Inbound Marketing. And as you may be aware, HubSpot is one of these important inbound marketing consulting firms, and they have the vendor here is called the HubSpot Academy. So this is a tool for content marketing, storytelling, lead generation, and tracking digital campaigns. And these are for folks who are working in or who may have a few years experience, but now they'd like to get a digital marketing vendor certification. I would say HubSpot Inbound Marketing is probably within the top 2 of these digital certifications for inbound marketing. Then we have Meta Digital Marketing Associate. This comes from Meta, Facebook. And it's not just the fact that Meta has this kind of tool, but pretty much every social media platform for sale in the marketplace today has their own digital marketing capability. So whether you're using Facebook, LinkedIn, X, which used to be called Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all of these vendors have tools that allow you to set up a marketing campaign, who you're going to target, and they also help you to measure the metrics across not just Facebook and Instagram, but again, LinkedIn has its own vendor certification for digital marketing. Snapchat has its own vendor certification. So in terms of digital marketing, every company today is a marketer. And so you want to make sure that you have either one or perhaps both of these certifications if you are seeking a role in digital marketing. Okay, now we have number 7. So we all know Excel is an essential. Yes, go ahead. You have a question?
Yeah, what we are looking is that the slides are not moving. It's still showing the first one, so
it's still showing the first slide. Well,
yeah.
let me go back. I'm sorry about that. Let me go back.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. So do you see number 7 now?
Yes, now we can see number 7.
Okay, so let me just go back. So we've done number 1. Let's go back and just kind of quickly review the other ones here so that we are on the right track. Okay, so we did Google Analytics. Again, Salesforce, the number 1 CRM tool in the industry. They have a vendor certification called Salesforce Certified Administrator. Okay, then we get into data visualization. In other words, taking extensive and complex Excel spreadsheet data and using Tableau to visually promote, visually show what that numerical data shows. Sometimes it's hard to review long and complex Excel data workbooks, but Tableau lets you visualize the data so it's easier to interpret. Then we get to number 4, AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. Again, this is not an IT certification, but it's a business certification. And if you are into helping a company managing websites or unveiling a new cloud platform, this can be used for marketing technology people, operations, and those consultants who are working in a digital transformation role. Then we mentioned HubSpot is one of the major tools for digital marketers. And there's also something called Meta Digital Marketing Associate. There's also a vendor certification from Amazon, which is called Amazon AdWords. So Amazon has lots of people looking at its website to shop, but now Amazon has been part of the advertising business for 2 or 3 years now. So it's very important to look at the social media platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, like LinkedIn, because they all have their own certification for their own products. Okay, so now we get into Microsoft Excel. This is Microsoft Excel Expert. Okay, so whether you are a lover of numbers, right? You like crunching the numbers. You know, if you have a Excel interest and becoming more expert, then you would likely be interested in jobs in finance, operations, any job role where you're interpreting data analytics. And if you can master essential business tools from Microsoft Excel Expert, then definitely you will set yourself apart when you go to look for internships and jobs in the marketplace. Okay, now we come to project management and finance. So number 8 is called the Certified Associate Project Manager. So CAPM certification, right? This comes from the vendor, the Project Management Institute. It's a world-renowned organization for people who are interested in project management. And so if you can certainly earn an internship or a job with an MBA in project management. But if you have a few years experience and you want to work towards a certification, I would certainly recommend that you look at the CAPM certification. Now, if you have been in project management for quite some time, say at least 5 years or more, there's also a PMP certification from the same vendor, Project Management Institute. The PMP certification is the higher level. The PMP certification is a higher level certification also from the Project Management Institute. And I guarantee you, if you are looking on job websites like Indeed.com, if you type in the words PMP or CAPM within the Washington, D.C. area, you will see perhaps 1,000 jobs that are listed either as internships or as a full-time job that require the CAPM certification or the PMP certification. Okay? Then when we get to those folks who are involved in finance, right, there's a tool called the Bloomberg Market Concepts. And Bloomberg is a financial publisher. They track the financial markets, the stock markets, the debt markets, and a host of other kinds of financial industries. And so if you are, again, certified in Bloomberg Market Concepts, then you are likely a person who likes to involve themselves in accounting, finance, crunching the numbers, etc. And then finally, the last one here is something called Oracle NetSuite ERP Consultant. So ERP means Enterprise Resource System. So many mid to large size companies are looking for a software tool that lets you streamline the finance operations, inventory, can also help you with your customer relationship management processes. And so, again, if you're interested in internships or jobs within operations and consulting, this Oracle NetSuite ERP Consultant certification is right for you. I mean, I think if you are a numbers person and you like looking at lots of data, then you might consider this tool to add to your degree. But again, this certification, again, all of these are practical, they're industry recognized skills. Certainly, again, LinkedIn Learning is recognized, and I think LinkedIn and Simply Learn and other free or other digital certifications program are fine to keep you current on some of your skills. But if you really are after seeking a internship, a job, or in fact transitioning from one job to the other, I think the vendor certifications are the way to go. So those are the top 10 vendor certifications for MBA students. Does anybody have any questions or any comments they'd like to make, or are there other vendor certifications that are of interest to MBA students? No comments from anybody?
Hi, Dr. Robinson. It's Maria. How are you?
Maria, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm good.
I think I'll just make a comment because I worked on Salesforce before, and to get the certification is a very long process of studying.
Yes.
And it's not cheap. It's like 80 hours of prep work, and then the exam itself is quite expensive. But Salesforce have a couple of free certs, like their AI cert was free at some point. But yeah, so I think like it's difficult to try and get these certifications while you're also a full-time student.
Of course.
But if you can get your employer to pay for it, or if you can manage to study part-time, it's pretty useful. And like you said, there are lots of companies that want Salesforce certified people. But it's a challenge. I started trying to study the Salesforce stuff a couple of years ago, still not finished. But yeah, it's a really great one.
I think it is. I think I've used it myself in several jobs at Deloitte, and it is a truly useful tool. And you're right. While you're in school, it's best to focus on your MBA journey, or even perhaps if you're a bachelor student, right? You're learning some new concepts for the first time. You're learning new things, and so you don't want to take on too much all at once. The other part of this, as Maria mentioned, are that you can get some of these certifications not just from the vendor themselves, but there are third-party companies who are an approved school or an approved academy to also earn some of these same vendor certifications. So if you go on Google and just do a search, for, let's say, the PMP, Project Management Professional certification, you'll no doubt come across the Project Management Institute, but there are a host of third-party companies who are approved by PMI to also offer the same vendor certification. I don't think you would find it cheaper. Sometimes schools, other universities may have a certain number of seats that they are, willing to sell at a reduced rate for students. But yeah, some of these certifications may take you 6 months. Back in 2021, I completed a digital marketing certification through the Digital Marketing Institute out of Ireland. And that took me a good 3 months to study, go through their program, and then you have to sit for an exam, which you are allowed to repeat if you don't do well the first 1 or 2 times. They do give you chances to retake the test until you pass it. So yes, so these are not just 1 hour 1 hour certifications. You can go on, let's say if you go on to LinkedIn Learning, you can go in there and take some classes. I use classes in quote marks, that when you complete the class, and some of them are 30 minutes, some are 2 hours, some are 16 hours. When you earn your completion certificate, I wholeheartedly recommend that you post that on LinkedIn so that your fellow students can see it, and perhaps who you are looking to get an internship with or a job with, that they also see it. And again, it shows you that you are open to continuous learning and that you should never let your skills get outdated. Any other questions or comments that anybody would like to make? Okay, well listen, I thank you for joining today. This has been an official webinar from the School of Business. Dr. Mark Robinson with you today. Any questions, comments? If you're a student here at WUST, you certainly have my email address. If you're outside the school, just check our website, wust.edu. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and thank you again for joining this webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.